Disclosure is well underway, and how do I know this? Because you are here watching this video and you are awake, meaning that you are connected with your multidimensional self, your star guides, your intuition. You may not be perceiving it yet, but you know deep down that there is something greater than this reality. And that disclosure really is you awakening to your higher self and to your multidimensional aspects and reconnecting with your guides is, in its very nature, disclosure. Our reality is expanding at an amazing clip right now. And in this video, I want to touch on what this unfolding of this new earth, the new earth that is manifesting from within, what that's going to look like, and how, from the human perspective, our brains, our logical mind, our programming might have a challenging time trying to make sense of all of it, and what you can do to take a step back and allow that process to unfold gracefully without getting all caught up in the fear and the traps and all of the noise that we are certainly already beginning to see externally with all the things that have been happening with the drones and all of that stuff, right? So as we start to manifest New Earth, I want to make it clear that the manifestation of New Earth is simply a higher frequency reality that you are aligning with. Now, we have expectations about what a new earth or a reality with our ET guides and our spirit guides might look like, right? Full-blown intuition online, connection with your higher self, your third eye open and active, all those amazing things. We have these preconceived ideas about what that might look like. And from what I've gathered from my connection with my Pleiadian guide, the Federation, and my higher self, is that we don't quite have the ability to comprehend from a human perspective what that reality is going to look like. We are moving into it on a frequency level, basis by basis, right? Moment by moment. But we really are not in a position where we can comprehend what that reality is truly going to look like. We're only going off of our programming and off of our expectations, which are really, from what I've been told by my guides, is far from the actual experience of manifesting New Earth. Now, the interesting thing is we are in this human form and we are ascending in the human form. You see, if you were to leave the human form, you could basically snap your finger and you're in a new reality. It's a reality that's very familiar to you. You had just forgotten it while you were in the human form. Well, we're in the human form, so we at some level are still separated. Even if you're awake, even if you're connected with your guides, you are experiencing all of that energy from the perspective of the human being. So we took this incarnation, we took this lifetime to really be the ascension timeline, the ascension lifetime, where we get to navigate these higher frequency realities, these higher dimensional fields with the human body. Now, in order to do that, we need to start to release a lot of these old paradigms and old ideas that kept us anchored to a fixed, dense, low vibrational timeline or reality. So in order to do that, we need to lean into the unknown and lean into the new and start to be open to experiences that are happening all around you. But if you're viewing reality from the lens of that 3D human, you're not perceiving them. They're there, but you're not seeing them because you have a limited box or instruction book of expectations as to what this journey is going to look like. So to best serve you, you want to remember to let go of any expectations as to how things are going to unfold. You're going to start to have experiences when you're open and available and present, and you're going to start to make connections to those with those experiences. You're going to say, I may not have been looking for that before, but now that I've let go of some of those old ideas and old paradigms, it's starting to come through and I'm starting to perceive it. And it's not what I thought it would be. It's very, very different. And that is good. It's the what I thought it would be that is keeping you limited and tied to a very linear timeline. Now, the trick is, or the skill is to be able to allow for this new high frequency reality, or the new earth, we'll call it the new earth at this point in time, to come through without having those expectations. Now, we need to be open to things that weren't on the radar before. And that means taking a step back from our five senses and leaning into just being present and being okay. In fact, being in love with what is happening at this moment, okay? The key to allowing this to unfold gracefully as these higher frequency energies move through you is to take that step back and to allow yourself to just be fine, be in love with the present moment. When you could do that, it takes you out of the mental field of a timeline, out of that dense dimensional linear timeline, and it makes you available to start to perceive things that are outside of that, things that are residing on a higher frequency bandwidth, higher dimensional fields. Now, sometimes as that starts to move through you, it may bring up some fear, and that is simply your body reacting to you letting go of these old frequency timelines. Remember, the body wants to stay in what it knows, and that is very predictable. When we're talking about predictability, we are talking about a timeline. When you start to get present and release that, some of the fear anchors that were anchoring you to those low frequency timelines of expectations will start to come up as you lean into the unknown. That will start to rise up. You need to be okay with that. You need to sit with that, okay? Because we are on a linear timeline and we are collapsing these timelines, we're returning to the present moment. Our mind and our humanness, our physical body, has to stitch together the unfolding of a new earth, moment by moment by moment by moment. So the more you can free yourself from a lower programmed timeline expectation, if we take religion, for example, and we could look at the religious texts and we can make all sorts of predictions about the future, when we can release ourselves from those expectations and those predictions, we start to allow ourselves to be in a space of calm, a space of stillness, a space of allowing, where we can allow new to come through. We're present so we can perceive things that maybe our five senses locked us out of before. It starts to open up energetically for us, and we start to be able to just sense it and feel it and perceive it. And then the mind and the body will do its thing and try to stitch it together from a linear perspective, from a timeline perspective point of view. Except the difference is, instead of the timeline being like this, it's going to start going like this, meaning you are going to allow higher frequency experiences to merge into your current experience. So when you're present and you're detaching from what you think this process is going to look like or feel like, and just allowing for whatever it is to come through, your timeline starts to go like this. You no longer stay on this linear timeline that is tied in with past experiences and past traumas and past ideas and programming, right? So you start to be able to lean into being available for whatever it is that is ready to come forward. You need to release the expectations of what this looks like. I know we all have ideas on what New Earth is going to look like and how it's going to be living in New Earth. Well, New Earth exists right now. It exists from within. It is within you. Each one of you watching this video has access to New Earth, to a fifth dimensional timeline in this very moment. You are just preventing yourself from perceiving it because you are anchored into a lower, predictable timeline. My guides have stressed to me, they've just over and over again, that you do not yet have the ability to comprehend what these higher frequency timelines are going to feel like or what they're going to look like. So it's important to be centered and present and available for whatever it is that is ready to come through. And as these higher frequency energies ground and integrate into your physical vessel, your reality will slowly start to change. And it will change in ways that you cannot, in your present state, imagine. But in order to allow that to happen, you need to accept that it could look very different than what you were expecting, what the religious texts have said, what you've been taught, all of the programming. This can look very different. That is getting you into a space of allowing and accepting for the unknown to come through. So the best thing you could do now is continue to get present, align with love, align with that unconditional love, compassion, grace, abundance, all of these high frequency energies. Feel them fully. Feel them in every fiber of your being, and allow those emotions. Allow the energy, okay, that's in your system to start to manifest in the way that it is going to manifest, not in a way that you expect it to manifest. When you start to get into that state of allowing, that energy will spill out into your toric field. That will become your reality, and you'll start to be able to perceive those higher frequency emotional states out in your reality. And things will start to look very different. It's when we clamp ourselves down with expectations on what all of this unfolding is supposed to look like, is where we get stuck. It's where we get in trouble, because we are not ready to allow everything that this wonderful, amazing process has in store for us. Remember, we came here in this lifetime to take this journey and take our physical body with. Now, our physical body has an idea based on the experiences as to what this journey is going to look and feel like. That's what you have to release. Show it a new way of feeling by aligning with these elevated emotional states, getting present with them. If fear is released, alchemize the fear, breathe into it, feel it, bring it back into love, and continue to go back to that well and be in a position of allowing whatever it is to come forward for you, however it is supposed to appear in your reality. Allow for that to land, and allow yourself to experience it free from the anchors that have tied you to a lower frequency 3D linear timeline.